Watch Who?
Hello.
And welcome to To Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
Ooh, nice little ooh at the end there.
You're welcome.
Well, here we are. We're celebrating in Little Hodcombe. Lovely little village here. Having a bit
Have you been thinking about this more this time?
No, I did. I tried. That's all I've got. We're just in the village. That's it.
We're just in the village. We're not in the church because that's crumbled.
Oh no. We're just out on the
Green.
Just out on the green. Yeah. It's nice weather for once. Really nice weather. That's it. That's all I got this week. Anyway, here we are, back again, carrying on season 21. Oh, I got a little update.
Oh, go on.
So we were talking about the Daleks being colorised last time,
yeah.
which would be out there because we're recording quite ahead in advance. So it's out there, it's been seen. Hopefully it was good. I'm not sure.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, the story itself's good. It's just in colour.
I know, but the colours, I mean, I've seen a picture. Barbara was wearing a pink cardigan. I don't think she would have been wearing pink. Bright
But
pink
she had to because it was in black and white. So all the colours are for...
Yeah, I know, but I never imagined her wearing pink. Have you ever...
To make the boys wink, you know?
Yeah. Anyway, but apparently Russell T Davies has said this is the first of many that they're doing. He wants some of the older ones to be colorised and cut down, so they're already working on the next one.
Interesting.
Fingers crossed for Kisa Marinus. Let's hope.
Can you imagine?
The chances are there it was going to happen one day.
I hope it's not just Dalek stories. That'd be like...
No, I mean, it might be likely, but the only other thing I was going to say, I mean, we've already chatted before we started recording, which you can't, which none of the stuff that you can put in the podcast, so
No.
we've had a nice little catch up.
No.
We've had a nice little catch up pre-recording.
For about like an hour almost.
Yeah. But one thing, so you know Neighbours Guy?
Oh, yeah?
Okay, this is not a Neighbours Guy, but I've got like a new Neighbours Guy. Sort
No,
of.
Mark.
But this is Facebook Marketplace Lady.
Right, okay. So this is like Neighbours Woman to Neighbours Guy.
Yeah.
Neighbours Gal. Neighbours Gal.
But it's not Neighbours. It's I just want to get rid of a sofa. And it's
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. I mean, there's been quite a few people that are like, yeah, going to collect it. It's for free. I'm giving it away for free. I just want it gone for free. So many, and I've not used Facebook Marketplace before, so
Oh, all right.
Well, quite a few people, and then they don't turn up. Anyway, this woman the other week. Well, first off, you know, like, you would say, wouldn't you? Hi, I'm interested in the sofa and ask any questions.
Have you provided measurements?
Yeah, it's all up there. Free,
Okay.
free, collection only, sofa. It's this type. It's these measurements, right? She just says hi. That's it. Not hi, I'm interested in the sofa, just hi. I'm like, hi, are you interested in the sofa? Yes. Blah, blah, blah. What are the measurements? I'm like, fine. She's like, whereabouts are you? And I was like, okay, I'm sort of here. Anyway, it goes on and on. Oh, can you dismantle it for me? I'm like, no, it's a sofa. It doesn't come apart. My husband has a car, but he's at work. I'm like, okay, let me know when you have the car free and you can come and collect it. And then she's like, well, you're only like 3 minutes away. Can you deliver it for me? I'm like, no, it's collection only. And then she went, oh, I have a car. And I'm like, yeah, no, you just told me. When you have the car free. I'm like, what is going on? When you have the car free, let me know. Anyway, nothing for like a week.
God, Mark, this is like my life, but continue.
And then it starts again. Like after a week of nothing, I didn't chase it up. Hi. I'm like, hi, are you still interested in getting the sofa? Yes. What are the measurements? I'm like, the measurements are this. And she's like, oh, will it fit in my hallway? And then she just sent me a picture of her hallway. And I'm like, well, you need to measure the hallway to see if it's this. And the measurements are this. And she's like, oh, okay. I've measured it. It will fit. I'm like, great. Can you come and collect it? Anyway, that was, and when was that? That was Thursday. And she was like, oh, she said she might be able to get it on the Friday. And I wasn't going to work from home, so I was going to go into work. Anyway, I had given her my address at this point as well.
Yeah.
And then, so I said, after 6 o'clock, because if I'm going out to work, I'll be back by then. And she said, great, I'll check my schedule. Hopefully I'll be able to collect it then. And then I was like, oh no, I can't go into work. I've basically told her that I'm going to be out and she knows my address. So I was like, shit. So I stayed in just in case I got burgled because I was like, I got really paranoid that I'd said I was out and she knows the address. Anyway, not heard anything since again. So just going round and round.
Yeah.
So the neighbours guy.
I've been all right with. I just sack her off. I just would move on.
I know, but I just really want to get rid of it. So it just reminded me of Neighbours Guy, like the sort of circular conversations.
Yeah.
I've just said this. Have you not? Do you know what I mean? It's just the hi as well. It's like, just say hi. I'm interested in the sofa. Is it still available? Don't just say hi. I just don't understand how people's mind. Do you see what I mean? Like, why is that?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Anyway, we'll get back to Doctor Who. This isn't a Facebook Marketplace podcast, although that would be a cool podcast. Anyway,
can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Right, so two-parter this week. Nice and easy.
Yeah, in theory. I really struggled to understand what was happening.
Okay, I'm really surprised at that.
I'm not sure if it's just like I've been out the night before and maybe my brain's a bit slow. What I couldn't understand. So, right, initially you don't know what's going on. You know they're in 1980 something. You find out in that first thing, but actually there's a guy there from 16 something. They are role playing, but they're taking it very seriously to the point where they've closed off the entire village.
Yeah.
And people are very invested, apart from this one woman. And also, part of me just kept thinking, like, but why are people, like, why is she going along with it? Like, she's even, like, I know she's saying, like, I'm not doing it, but she's also, like, not encouraging it. Her character and where this sat in this was odd, and I was like, maybe this will make more sense as, like, we learn what's going on. And then the doctor gets to the chapel. I mean, I'm literally explaining the story, but this is, I'm trying to understand it myself. He gets to the chapel. We see the thing on the ground. We meet Will. Is it Will?
Mm-hmm. Young
Will, who's great. Lift up the stone. We go down those stairs. Tegan and his name's gone.
Turlough.
I want to say Tremor. Well, there's Tremor. Tegan and Turlough, they're doing their own thing. She's running around in those kitten heels. She's trying to, like, escape people, find her granddad, that thing. And then that was just stuff that was going on in between. They get caught, obviously. She has to get it changed, that sort of stuff. I couldn't work out at what point. Maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention. The woman's down there with the doctor and Will and that. And then when did she appear with them?
I think she's been there. Oh, she found a secret passageway from the office, I think.
Ah, there we go. Because then the next thing I see is that. And I was like, what? Have I, like, missed something completely here? And I'm going back. And then we see the green face, the devil face. But we also keep seeing these things that actually are quite solid form. They're not imaginary. They're solid because he's got a knife and they run away to try and not be killed. I couldn't work out what the intention was.
Right. Okay.
So, like, for me, I was like, I can see these elements. What was, and I get, like, the war games, I get all that. I just couldn't work out why. What was its purpose to make this village do this stuff, and then would it take over? Like, I couldn't work it out. I couldn't work out why. Why was that guy there from 16 something? And why was this happening in the 80s? Like, yeah.
Well, there's like a time gateway thing between 1600 and whatever to the present day. That's why when people keep falling through it.
Right. Through that church?
Through the church, yeah. Around that area, yeah.
Okay.
So, and the malice is feeding on psychic energy.
Right. Where from?
Okay. Well, So it's a psychic alien creature, okay?
So
And
is
that landed in the
channeling its thoughts into people and able through energy to manifest things?
So those little things that are up, that like the thing in the TARDIS and all of that, they're all like psychic projections and stuff. And the Musketeer people as well, towards the end, are psychic projections and everything.
Right.
And I think you've got the Civil War or whatever that's happening back in time. And that's obviously a lot of, because it's the wartime, it's like lots of psychic energy and all of the emotions and stuff that go with that. So it's sort of feeding off that. And then it's using the guys that are reenacting. So I imagine what happened is it's a nice little country village and you get these things where, all right, let's all reenact what happened here, and it's all, everyone's nice and stuff. But I think because of this psychic connection, because they're recreating this thing that happened back then when the Malice thing is all in charge, it's sort of made a connection there and it's taken over and made the magistrate guy a bad guy and sort of brainwashed the village. So they started off probably normally, and then it's like really got everyone into it because it's feeding off and it's trying to get energy to awaken, because it's obviously like in the trapped or whatever in the church thing, and that's why when the more of the things happen, that's why it can like break through and the crack gets bigger.
Yeah,
sort of feeding and getting energy and coming back alive because of the guys that have started this thing have like recreating all the emotions and the sort of psychic powers and awakening it.
Yeah.
From back then.
Okay.
And I've just explained that without really trying to think about it, but I've never really thought about the plot, to be honest. It's a nice atmosphere, this story, at least.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't different. I think, like, I just kept thinking, like...
What's the point?
Yeah. Like, what's... And also, because it's only 2, it can't be anything too complicated because there's not the time to...
I think there's plenty packed in for 2. I think
yeah, that's
really
what I mean. There was almost too much packed in to not go anywhere. This could have easily been a 4. Easily.
Oh, I don't know. I think it would be too stretched out if it was 4. This is plenty, and you don't need all the
think it could
detail.
have been explained a bit more. I think, for example, I think the first cliffhanger's a great one, where like he's getting the smoke.
No.
Well, we're talking in terms of like where the story goes to at that point. We're still in the unknown. I think we could have stayed in the unknown for another episode. I think we could have had the smoke and they got out, and because even then he doesn't know what it is, and we could have had maybe a bit more. We could have had a bit more detail into like them trying to work out who people were and why there was this shift and what's behind that wall, something like that. And then we could have had a cliffhanger where the wall starts coming down and we see an eye or something, I think this could have been 3 or 4. Because then maybe it would have explained the why a bit more for me. It just felt like, I don't know, I didn't buy into this at all.
Oh no, I thought you'd
and
really
I'm
like
sad
it.
because it's a 2.
Yeah.
I loved Will. Will was awesome.
Yes.
I love Will. We've established we're going to be staying on Earth for a while to have some tea. I liked the whole last bit where they were talking about tea and ale and stuff. And
okay, well, I'll go through my notes on the story. I'm just going to send you something, though, a little clip. You don't necessarily have to watch it, but it's very interesting because, well, let's talk about on the TARDIS. You've got Tegan Turlough and the Doctor on the TARDIS. There is, and I wish it was in here, I've just sent it to you, a deleted scene with Chameleon in it.
oh, no way. I'm going to watch it now. I will watch it. Hang on.
What are you doing?
Furthering my education. Learning about the TARDIS.
Does the doctor know you're tapping the computer?
Of course. I won't do it any harm. You forget, I'm benign.
So the doctor says. Still give me the willies, especially when you use that voice. Can't you find another?
Would you prefer this?
That's even worse.
I find the eclectic quality of Turlough's voice rather interesting.
What's happening?
I don't know. I think you should go into the console room.
Are you coming?
No, I'll only be in the way. Hurry.
I mean, it's
a really good way of having him there, but also writing him out.
So it still proves he's there in the background. And I think they could have done that with other stories, just had a little bit of him here and there. Obviously, he's just literally propped up against the the console there. But I think that would have been nice just to have him in and out of those beginning TARDIS scenes, and he
I
stays in the TARDIS.
completely forgot about him again.
Oh, I'm still doing Chameleon Watch. I'd wish.
It literally is a chameleon watch. It's blending in so much he doesn't appear at all.
I don't know. That would have been nice to see. And Tegan being suspicious of him is quite funny.
But also, again, I kind of hate this character trait that they have of Tegan just being really whiny.
Well, they're on their way to see her grandfather.
We're getting all the family with Tegan.
We are. And I looked up. So he's not. So Aunt Vanessa isn't his daughter. There's another sister there is Joy Javanka, apparently.
Oh, right.
Is one of his children. And that's. And he's not Australian. But I suppose he doesn't have to be. It is a bit weird that he's not if his daughter, because Aunt Vanessa was very Australian. And Tegan talks about Australia quite a bit. So I don't know where all that is or why.
Hang on, he's not. Aunt Vanessa isn't his daughter.
Oh, no, sorry. Aunt Vanessa is one of his daughters.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, sorry.
Like, how are they related?
Yeah. He's got several children.
And Aunt Vanessa is
So
just
sorry.
an aunt.
So his daughter Joy is Tegan's mum.
Right.
And then, so his other daughter is Aunt Vanessa.
Okay. So, like, is it ever explained maybe he grew up in the UK and then, like, later moved back to the UK?
It can happen.
And, like, his daughters were in Australia and they stayed that, and because they've got family over here, they've moved back.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, do you know what? That sort of happened in my family, and I don't really know the full story, but it was like my grandfather's brother's daughter. I mean, I don't really know the full story because they live in Australia.
Yeah.
And they came over when I was like 9 or 10 or something for this visit, and I don't think they'd been back. They must have left in like the 50s or something. She was going out with someone that they didn't approve of. So basically, they ran away together without permission or whatever in those days. Anyway, and they live out there in Australia and have a farm out in Australia, apparently. And the only time I've ever known of them or seen them was when they came over, however many years ago. Anyway, it just reminded me of that. So, yeah, it's just the opposite version of that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the other thing is, he doesn't seem too bothered about, like, the TARDIS or anything going on. So I wonder if they...
that's another thing. Not bothered, as if this is just a normal thing. He's like, oh, not at all.
But maybe they've dropped in on him before, or maybe in that massive break when she was left, she went to visit him and told him all about it and was like...
But still, when you first seen it, regardless for the first time, even if you've heard of something, you'd be like, whoa, or something. Like, he's an old man.
Yeah, I think he
Probably
must have
never seen anything like this before. I thought that was overlooked as well.
Well, everyone's fairly chill about it. Everyone ends up in the TARDIS at some point as well, don't they? But I suppose all the stuff that's going on is a bit weird, so they can accept it quite quickly.
But they always have more of a reaction to it than he did.
Jane, I like the character of Jane.
I do as well, actually. Yeah, I did like her.
I liked how she was the only one. She's a school teacher. She's like, this is ridiculous. What is going on? Obviously, the psychic stuff doesn't work on everyone. Because also there's that Ben as well, who's in on it, but he's not going too far. I really like her, how she accepts everything and gets on. And she's sort of like a great supporting character and like the companion.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
I mean, there's always talk about, they were thinking about Will being a companion and maybe
I did
her
wonder.
as well. But he would have been a Jamie and you'd have to explain everything. He'd be a worse Jamie because he wouldn't know anything. Like, he was too, like, of the
I'd
time.
have loved it, though.
No, I think it was too of the time.
I think what we'd have found is that he'd have been able to bond with people in a different way. In a much more non-threatening way because he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, maybe. And I like her as well because she's not like super young. She's not like really old. She would have been an older, a bit more like a Barbara.
Yeah, we've not had that for a while.
But a more Barbara with a lot of energy. I mean, she has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But I quite like that. She livens up quite a lot of the scenes.
Well, I wondered actually. I did wonder if Will would be a companion because he's the most out of place out of anyone there. back in 16 something, and really great character. Bonds with the Doctor. I wouldn't have been surprised by that at all. Actually, has a lot of like one-on-one time with the Doctor, and it's only a 2-parter. And usually when it's a 2-parter, it's because they want to bring someone in.
I liked how it's the war game stuff and then it's modern and you're not sure to begin with, and I like that mashup. And it is explained quite quickly because she's like, all these war games, it's getting out of control. When she says they've shut down the village and all of that stuff, it's not too far off reality because
Right, here we go.
there's a village near here,
Right.
called Lewis, and they are known for doing a big bonfire Guy Fawkes night thing. And it's quite famous, and there's a history with it. I don't know what it is.
I've heard of it.
And I looked on the website, and it's like residents only. No trains go past there. This is on a Saturday. This was a couple of Saturdays ago. No trains stop at that station past 3 o'clock. All the roads shut. On the website, residents only, do not come to this village on this night. There's a big bonfire, and then the council have been like, we do not condone this bonfire, do not come to this bonfire. It's from the Lewis whatever society. The whole village shuts down. It's like some cult thing where they're like, we are only doing this, do not come. But to
I
stop...
know people that live, so I know people that live there, and so they'll invite people, so they have to go in advance, and they can go to it all because they're with the residents there. But they'll like, people that live there will invite people to come and stay with them and be part of it.
Yeah, but that station, to have the like National Rail, all the trains to stop because of this bonfire thing, that is a big thing, and that is quite a busy station where you change a lot for Brighton and stuff. Like, they just shut that off, and the roads, I'm like, it's literally the awakening. It's happening.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's not out of reality, some of this stuff. Obviously the alien stuff. My favourite bit actually in part 1, when Tegan goes off in a strop after she finds out her grandfather, and she has a bag and she puts it up to her face, like, you know, before she gets mugged by that peasant-y guy.
oh yeah.
It's totally the most relatable moment in the whole of Doctor Who. It's so funny.
And she said something like, she said something, I can't, yeah.
So she gets like mugged straight away by... I thought that was quite good. Because she's just stressed out. She's like, I want to visit my grandfather, just have a break. Oh no, I can't because all this stuff's going on. You can sort of understand it. There's not much for Turlough in this at all, again.
No, this is not a great Turlough story.
Because he's locked up with the grandfather, basically. There's just nothing for him to do. He's trying to break down a door for most of it. So that's quite disappointing.
Maybe your theory of like the meeting before makes sense, because even when he meets Turlough, he's not like that surprised.
Who do you mean? Oh,
The grandfather and Turlough, like they're thrown in that thing together.
Oh yeah.
And then he's very like, and what's your name? He's like, and then like it cuts. There's no like sort of like, we've been looking for, there's nothing like that. They're very quickly like, okay.
Well, the grandfather knows all about the malice and knows what's happening.
Yeah, he knows everything.
Because he's been studying it. So he says he's the one that alerted the magistrate guy, who is a great villain, by the way. He's a proper villain.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, he's dressed up for the part, but if he was in like 1980s normal clothes, he might not be as much, but he's got the look. He's the one that alerted him and said this is happening, and then obviously he's the first one that's got taken over, and then he's locked up the grandfather to be like, just because he's the only one that knows how to stop it and what's actually going on. Everyone else is zombified. Maybe he has been, I feel like, he's had adventures before and sort of knows what he... Like, a cross between the grandfather and Jane would be Miss Hawthorne. You know, it's that kind of thing.
It reminded me a lot of the Demons.
Yeah.
It was like a poor man's Demons to me.
It's a 1980s version of the Demons that was just trying to
It's a really poor man's version of the Demons, because it's only 2 and it doesn't have the same like emphasis.
The church stuff looks really good. That set is great. I think that cliffhanger though, like the face is cool. Oh my god, that cliffhanger is so over the top. Because she's like, Doctor!
I guess it has to be. It's a cliffhanger and basically it's just staring at some smoke.
But also, yeah, it's like, put your face. Why would you stand there like that? And then she shouts for so long, and it just looks so staged. Whereas he should be like trying to get away, or at least you could see. But he's literally just, all right, I need to stand here. I've been told to stand here and do nothing. I'm going to do that.
He's got his hands on his head.
Yeah, it's so over the top. And it's such a disappointment when the cliffhanger, because they're like, Doctor, oh. And then they just carry on. But the face looks it's a great piece of design.
When you see it, I think that should have, like an eye coming through, that should have been the cliffhanger.
And the good thing about the Malice is, and what makes it more scary, I think, it doesn't talk, it doesn't do anything. All of its actions are through the people that it's taken over. What would be disappointing, or I'm sure we've had at some point before, is if it tried to talk and it would be really like, and this mouth would be really, it would look like a big puppet thing.
I think
but because it doesn't,
more interaction though between the Doctor and the Malice.
No, I like it that it's sort of in the background as this presence, but you can never really, you can't interact with it and you can't talk to it. I quite like that it's a silent presence.
Interesting.
Of Doom. I quite like that. The only other way that they could have done it is, am I remembering right? In Return to Oz, isn't there like a rock creature thing that talks with the rocks? Do you remember Return to Oz? Have you've seen Return to Oz?
I mean, I've seen it once, many years ago.
Because doesn't like the baddie get them in like a cave thing, and it's sort of animated rocks, and its face is all in the sort of plasticine-y, and it talks. I'm sure. I haven't seen it. It kind of
rings
time.
A bell, but I couldn't confirm it enough.
But and even the little Malices. Little baby Malice that's in the TARDIS, and when it's sick and stuff, it looks cool. It's like it is like statues coming to life.
It's no Bok, is it?
No, definitely. Oh no, that's what it needs. A little Bok running around. That would be cool. Yeah.
Well, the closest you get is that guy with the face, and then he morphs into other things.
I thought later on. Well, we got Tegan, Queen of the May, and all of that stuff.
Yeah. But also, that was another thing. He literally just said, you have to be there because if he doesn't see you, he'll be mad. And then the next scene, they're throwing rice on her and she's going down the thing. And then it turns out she's straw. And I'm like, how? Like, we've literally just, he's just said you have to be there. Otherwise, he's going to kick off. We've just watched some women throwing rice on her. They must have been pretty close. So, not for, this woman's made of straw.
No, but I think the evil guy is like, she has to be burned alive because the Malice wants that because of the psychic energy. But Ben is riding the horse. So him and Jane are there because Jane's on the cart with her. So I think the sort of townsfolk that are general, like, oh, we're taking part in this, we don't realise what we're doing. They're not going to expect it to be, they're not going to be like, let's burn her alive. It's only him and his crew that are like so when Ben gets it, so Ben has swapped her out halfway because he's on her side.
But I wish they'd made that line. I mean, I get they're doing it for the suspense, but he was like, well, you have to be there because he could have said something. I don't know what this would have been, but it was he was like, you have to keep that dress on, you can't get change on. She's like, well, why? And he was like, well, he has to see you. And then it's literally the next scene, and I wish it had been sort of more like prepped. What's that word? Prepped more. It could have been more like, can I get changed? Well, no, he needs to have, he knows you're wearing that outfit. And, if he doesn't see you, he'll know something suspicious is going on. And then we see that. I mean, it's like, oh, they've kept the outfit. It was the fact that the line was like, no, you have to be there. Well, she's not even there.
Or maybe that guy that was like, you have to get changed, he would have been at the house, so he had to see them set off. Halfway they stop. Jane and that helps her get out and escape and put in the dummy, and then he heads off. So maybe it was for the leaving the house, they just had to do that.
I don't know. Again, just when you have something this short, there's no things like that.
I really like later on when those Musketeer people turn up as sort of in blue, the sort of apparitions.
Yeah.
I think the lighting is really great in this because you don't always get the good lighting and they look really... And actually, there's really horrible bits, that beheading bit.
Oh, yeah.
Where they've got all the swords and then it cuts away and everyone screams and it's so obvious that they've just seen someone beheaded. I'm quite surprised they had something like that in.
No, I mean, like, I enjoyed all that. I like not that way, but like, just for me, it's just a bit of a shame. It feels like there's some really good elements, there's some good characters. There's just almost no time for it.
Well, it would be great to see more Jane and Will and stuff. That would be good. But then you've got to find more for, like, Tegan can't just be captured all the time. Turlough can't just be captured all the time.
But actually, like you said, Turlough does nothing in this. He gets stuck in a room and has to get out. You know, if Tegan got captured and she's like trying to get out but can't, and maybe it's Turlough trying to get to her, would have given him something more to do. We know that she's like and she's talking to these people who are coming in. She's interacting that way.
For a two-parter, all the sets and the location filming, a lot of effort has gone into the look of it. It looks great. I'm surprised they put all that, you know, quite a lot of budget into that two-parter. But I think it's like, and we don't always get. We haven't really had this Doctor a lot on present day Earth or your sort of English village type thing. We don't really get that. We haven't had that at all for a long time. So it's a nice change to have that atmosphere. I think it's sort of more known for that as being just a little bit different. It's not like the greatest monster ever, but I think the design, it's a once you see that image, it's, you know exactly what story it is and what it is. I don't know. I quite liked it. It's not like the most amazing one, but it's
a 4 out of 10 for me.
Really? I would say sort of 7 or 8.
Oh,
just
really?
As quite a fun.
No,
it's
4 out of
definitely
10.
we've had so much worse.
We have, but I think at this point I do expect more.
Well, and Tegan's still in that awful outfit. That
It's
is really
stuff like
annoying.
that. It's stuff like, how is Turlough still in that outfit?
I know, yeah. And he's banging down that door, and he hasn't even taken his suit jacket off.
So impractical. She's running around in those kitten heels, and you can tell she's struggling. They write that her character's so needy. We know that the Doctor's having issues with the TARDIS. This has been going on for a while now, right? And she's going, "Oh, we are going to be on Earth, aren't we? Like, you haven't." I'm like, this has literally been an ongoing issue. Like, every time we start this season's stories, and some of the last, they're trying to fix the TARDIS.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that when you first saw Turlough helping out and stuff. But then I thought, well, in the 60s, he was always trying to fix the TARDIS or do something else.
He said something at the end of the last story. Was it maybe it was the start? He said, like, "Oh, I should have got some of this thing when I had the chance." Because we've just had the 5 Doctors before that, and he was on Gallifrey. And it was after that. And he says this brief line like, "Oh, I should have got another blah, 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 whatever it was when I got the chance." So it sort of sets up that, like, they're going to be having these issues with the TARDIS.
Well, there's always issues. There's always issues. It's not that interesting, yeah, but there's always issues. That's how you start Doctor Who story.
Exactly. It gives them, but like, when she moaned like that, I was thinking, what are you talking about? Literally, this has been like going on for weeks, love. This has been going on before. He's not been able to get you exactly where he wants for a long time.
But he did get there. He was actually there in the right place. It just
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, but like,
But which is why I would rather have them just having a chat to Chameleon or something else going on at the beginning, the end of the story in the TARDIS with Chameleon, and then they land and they go out and
I just don't know why they always have to write her whiny, because like it was such a promising character and it was such like an exciting addition, and you know, like, these tough women, these like strong women characters that know themselves, that are like, and they give her these lines sometimes. There's no other way she can say it but sound whiny.
Especially when you've got someone like Jane in this, which is how Tegan should be the whole time.
Yeah, and exactly. And then, like, I still don't think they know how to write for Turlough, and that's why they don't give him much. I think they're still trying to work out who this new character is. And I'm like, he's been in for like, this new version's been what, 4 or 5 stories now?
Okay, I'm surprised that you weren't so keen on that one. I thought you'd like it, but never mind.
Me too, because it was only 2.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least it was only 2, and you didn't.
Oh gosh,
It
yeah.
wasn't a story you didn't
But
like.
actually, this is one of those where I would have preferred it to be longer.
Well, we'll move on. We'll move on to the next one. Oh, so it's 4. We're back to 4s, and it's called Frontios.
Frontios. Oh, interesting. Because I presume that they were staying on Earth, and that makes it feel like it's a planet.
Well, I mean, they didn't. They said they were just going to stay and have tea with the grandfather.
I know, but it made it sound like they were going to stay for a bit. As in, like,
yeah. I mean, Maybe that's the spin-off series somewhere else. Little Hodgcombe adventures.
Exactly, yeah.
I hope everybody has enjoyed the 60th. It would have... Oh, well, the next episode would be coming on or been on by the time this comes out. So lots... hopefully, I think there's going to be some surprises. So we're always going to be a little bit out with the surprises.
Well, I read like another cast member that's coming on for the Christmas one. Nicola, oh gosh, her surname's gone. From Derry Girls, and she was in Barbie.
That's for
Christmas.
Christmas 24.
What?
They're already filming the next series. So they filmed next year's. This is 24.
So also
Yeah.
what's really interesting about that is how she worded the statement. Have you read it?
No, I saw a picture, but I didn't.
Hang on, it made it sound like it's more than one.
Well, they're doing Shooty Gatwa's second series at the moment. They're already filming
Nicola
that.
Coughlan. Okay, here we go. Let me find it. This is how she said it. Off to the Whoniverse. Russell T. Davis, the loveliest man in the world. Thank you so much for asking me to join you on the joy that is Doctor Who. And let me share the screen with the ridiculously brilliant Shooty Gatwa. How lucky am I? I'm loving every minute.
It could be
That
I don't
makes
know.
it sound like it's more than just a brief appearance, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, but it's for Christmas 24, that one.
Gosh, that's crazy. We're not even at Christmas 23 yet.
No.
I know what I'm doing Christmas 24 as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in Cardiff.
Yeah.
I've got bloody Hamilton tickets at
Oh, yeah.
Millennium Centre. So
And we will be recording our Christmas special very soon.
I have to book
Everyone,
that.
that's coming up. You need to book that. So we're going to be in person on location for our Christmas special. I've got some ideas, so that is coming up soon. Everybody,
scared.
very excited. Yeah, and I'm putting money. I think we're going to get some Susan action in these David Tennant ones. I feel like we're going to get real Susan in coming
Interesting.
back on TV. So it could have already happened by now or not, but I'll put money on that it's Susan at some point.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll find out.
Yeah. Where
So
can you find us, Mark?
you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at 2WatchWho, and you can support me at buymeacoffee.com/2WatchWho, and we will see you very soon for Frontios.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Watch Who.
Hey, Doctor Who? What are you talking about?